All right, maybe take a second. What do you actually hear around you right now?
Hmm.
Maybe distant traffic? The
Yeah.
computer fan? Just background noise?
Yeah, the usual hum of daily life.
Exactly. Now
Yeah.
think about some tech working totally silently behind the scenes, just making that noise, or the annoying parts anyway, fade out.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it, how much we're starting to rely on that kind of tech for just, well, some peace and quiet.
It really is. And that's exactly what we're diving into today, this rapidly growing global market for active noise cancellation integrated circuits, ANCICs.
The tiny chips making it all happen?
Precisely. And we've got verified data on this exclusively from cognitive market research. Our goal, to really unpack the growth, where it's happening, the key shifts region by region.
And the numbers themselves tell a really compelling story.
They absolutely do, because look at this. The global market was valued at $855.63 million in 2021.
Which is already substantial.
Right. But it's projected to hit $1,224.9 million by 2025. And then it just surges, predicted to reach $2,510.33 million by 2033.
Wow. That's a huge leap. What's the growth rate on that?
It reflects a really robust compound annual growth rate, a CAGR of 9.384%.
Nearly 9.4%. That's not just steady growth. It signals something bigger. ANC is moving from, say, a luxury feature to something people increasingly expect.
A real surge in demand for controlling our sound environment. But, to really get the picture, we have to look beyond that global number.
Definitely. The regional breakdown is where you see the specific dynamics playing out.
So where should we start? What's the data showing as the main driver?
Well, the data points very clearly to Asia-Pacific as the absolute growth engine for this market.
Okay, Asia-Pacific. Let's unpack that. It's not just growing, it's the most rapidly expanding region.
That's right. An impressive CAGR there of 9.937%.
Wow.
So its market size, starting from $377.33 million in 2021, is projected to hit $1,174.83 million by 2033.
Nearly tripling. That's huge.
It is. And what's really interesting is who's driving that. China, for example, is the regional leader. It goes from $101.13 million in 2021 up to $322.49 million by 2033.
Okay, a big player.
But look at India. It actually shows the strongest growth rate within the region.
Really? Higher than China?
Yes, leaving from $59.24 million in 2021 to $200.90 million by 2033. That's a CAGR of 10.725%.
Over 10.7%. What do you think is behind that? Is it just mobile devices or?
It's likely a mix of things, a rapidly growing middle class, definitely huge smartphone adoption, personal audio devices, but maybe also just the demand for quiet spaces in really dense urban areas.
Makes sense. So India's a real breakout story here, but it's not just those two, I assume. The whole region must be moving.
Oh, absolutely. Beyond China and India, you've got other key markets like Japan moving towards a $250 million market by 2033.
Okay.
South Korea showing strong growth too, heading towards maybe $137 million.
Okay.
Then you have Australia, Singapore, Taiwan, all showing solid expansion.
So it's widespread.
Very. Even the whole Southeast Asia subregion is set to nearly triple its market size. It really points to a broad embrace of ANC tech across the board there.
Okay, fascinating. Let's pivot a bit. What about South America? It's smaller, maybe, but is there potential there?
Definitely showing significant emerging potential. The growth story is quite compelling.
How so?
Well, connecting it to the bigger picture, South America grows from $51.34 million in 2021 to $156.19 million by 2033. That's a CAGR of 9.7%.
Still very strong growth, almost hitting that global average.
Exactly. It really shows how ANC tech is penetrating more diverse markets globally.
And who's leading there? Brazil, I imagine.
Brazil is the largest, yes. Projected to grow from about $19.3 million to nearly $58 million by 2033.
Okay.
But Argentina actually stands out. It has a particularly high growth rate.
Higher than Brazil's?
Yes. Its CAGR is projected at 10.288%. It goes from $8.52 million to $27.60 million by 2033.
Interesting. Any thoughts on why Argentina specifically is accelerating so much?
It could be faster urbanization, maybe smartphone adoption catching up quickly, or even specific segments like, say, gaming or in-car audio, where ANC really adds value.
Right, enhancing that experience.
And beyond those two, you also see strong growth in Colombia, Peru, Chile. They're all on a solid upward path, contributing to that regional story.
Okay, so from South America, let's shift again. How about the Middle East? We hear a lot about tech growth there.
And it's reflected here, too. The Middle East market for ANCICs is expected to rise from $50.48 million in 21 to $151.05 million by 2033.
And the growth rate?
The CAGR is strong 9.549%. So yeah, clearly embracing advanced audio tech.
Any standouts within the region?
The UAE shows particularly strong growth. It goes from about $9.6 million to over $30 million by 2033. That's a CAGR above 10%, 10.135% actually.
Impressive. And Saudi Arabia?
Also a significant player, growing robustly from around $9.7 million to nearly $30 million as well. Similar scale to the UAE by 2033.
And elsewhere in the region?
We see similar trends. Turkey, for instance, looks set to nearly triple its market size. You see consistent growth across Qatar, Egypt, the broader Middle East, really.
What's driving it there? Similar factors.
Likely. Infrastructure development, lots of smart city projects, and
Yeah.
definitely a growing tech-savvy population buying personal electronics.
Okay, that makes sense. Now let's turn to Africa. It often has unique market dynamics. What's the picture for ANC ICs?
Well, Africa is projected to grow from a smaller base, $26.52 million in 2021, up to $79.35 million by 2033.
Okay, so tripling its size, roughly.
Exactly. The CGR is 8.901%. So while the starting point is lower, that's still very consistent, strong growth. It shows increasing tech penetration.
And within Africa, is there a dominant market?
South Africa clearly leads in terms of market size. It's projected to grow from about $10.8 million to over $34.5 million by 2033.
Right.
But Nigeria is also really interesting here. It's set to more than triple its market size in that same period,
From what to what?
from $3.66 million up to $11.32 million.
That's quite an acceleration. Does that suggest specific use cases are catching on, maybe more accessible devices?
It could be. Perhaps less about high-end headphones initially and more about integration into more common smart devices or even business applications in growing sectors. We also see steady growth across Kenya, Egypt, and the rest of Africa collectively.
Okay, so let's swing back now to the more established markets. North America, it's mature, but still a giant, right? It's not losing ground entirely.
Not at all. It's a crucial point. North America accounted for a really substantial $191.66 million back in 2021,
Okay.
and it's projected to reach $514.62 million by 2033. The CAGR is 8.578%.
So a bit lower than the global average, but still solid growth.
Exactly. And because the base is so large, that growth represents significant volume and drives a lot of innovation, too.
And the U.S. is the lion's share of that, I assume.
Oh, yes. The U.S. moves from $164.25 million in 2021 to a projected $435.52 million in 2033.
So even with the slightly lower CAGR, what was it, 8.46%, it's still the dominant force.
Absolutely. But Canada and Mexico are also important contributors. Canada is projected to grow from about $14.4 million to over $43 million.
Okay.
And Mexico expands from roughly $13 million to nearly $36 million.
So this steady growth in a mature market, what does that tell us? Is it just more headphones or is it broadening out?
I think it suggests the latter. Demand is likely broadening beyond just consumer headphones, maybe into smart home, different automotive systems, professional audio. It's becoming more deeply integrated.
A sign the tech is really embedding itself everywhere. Okay, finally, let's look at Europe. Stable, substantial. How does it fit in?
Europe is very significant. Its regional market was $158.29 million in 2021,
Right.
projected to reach $434.29 million by 2033. That's a CAGR of 8.843%.
So quite comparable to North America in terms of growth rate.
Very much so. Consistent, significant contribution shows enduring demand across a pretty diverse economic landscape there.
And who leads in Europe? Germany.
Germany leads, yes.
Yeah.
Poised to nearly triple its size, from about $36.6 million to over $106 million by 2033.
And the UK.
Close behind, growing from $21.5 million to over $61.5 million. Also very strong growth.
And it's widespread there, too.
Absolutely. France, Italy, Spain, all showing strong, consistent growth, nearly tripling their market sizes as well. And even smaller, very developed economies, think Sweden, Denmark, Switzerland, they're all contributing substantially. Each projected to be well over $17 million by 2033. Even Luxembourg shows growth, though at a slightly lower CGR.
So this pattern across all of Europe, big and small economies, it reinforces that ANC is becoming just expected.
I think so. A universally valued feature getting integrated into more and more devices to just improve daily life.
Okay, so let's pull this all together. What's the big takeaway here for you listening in? The main story seems incredibly clear. This ANC IC market isn't just growing, it's exploding globally.
Definitely.
And looking closer, Asia-Pacific is clearly the powerhouse, the main engine. But you also see specific countries like India, Argentina showing incredible acceleration.
Right. And it signals this isn't just about high-end headphones anymore. It's becoming a foundational technology, getting woven into the fabric of our tech world.
So this massive growth in these tiny components, it points to a pretty fundamental shift, doesn't it?
I believe so.
Hmm.
It suggests active noise cancellation is moving beyond just a nice-to-have feature in your earbuds. It's becoming essential.
In what way?
Well, thinks smart home devices, cars, maybe even office spaces or public transport down the line. Professional audio, too. It's about managing the sound around us more actively.
Exactly. So this huge surge in the tech that creates silence.
It does make you wonder, right?
Mm.
If this technology is growing so fast, what does that mean for our future sound environment?
It's a fascinating question.
Will our world just get fundamentally quieter as this tech becomes everywhere?
Right.
Or will we find new ways to use it, new applications we haven't even thought of yet that reshape how we interact with sound entirely?
Now, what does this all mean for the soundscapes of tomorrow? Something to think about. Okay, so we all know that feeling, right? You're trying to focus maybe on a commute, maybe in the open plan office, or, even just at home. And there's just this constant buzz, this noise. Finding some quiet, some control over what we hear, well, that's something I think everyone wants. And right at the heart of making that happen is this tiny, really powerful bit of tech, the active noise cancellation integrated circuit, the ANC IC. So today we're doing a deep dive into the fascinating world of the ANC IC market. We're going to unpack what's driving its incredible growth, look at the hurdles it's facing, and explore where it's all heading. And we're drawing all this from some really great research by Cognitive Market Research.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing technology. Because an ANC IC, it doesn't just like block sound physically,
Really?
it's much smarter. It actually listens to the noise around you, the unwanted stuff, and then it generates an anti-noise signal. It's like an inverted sound wave. So it actively cancels the noise out. It's kind of real-time acoustic magic. And as we'll get into, this isn't just about your headphones anymore. This tech is popping up and changing experiences in some pretty surprising places.
Right. So let's really dig into that. Why the boom? Why now for ANC ICs? Cognitive market research points to something pretty fundamental, our collective desire for, well, better audio quality in a world that just seems to get louder. I mean, just look around. Wireless earbuds everywhere, over-ear headphones, smartwatches, we're using audio for everything, critical calls, getting lost in podcasts. We're just trying to find a moment of, you know, auditory peace.
Exactly. And if you want that really immersive, clear experience, especially when you're out in a city or traveling, ANC becomes almost essential. What's really shifted things, according to the research, is that it's not just a high-end luxury feature now. Top brands are building ANC into their mid-range stuff too.
Uh-huh.
And that's huge. It means mass adoption is really kicking in. It's making good noise cancellation accessible to way more people, democratizing quiet, you could say.
Okay, so that huge adoption in personal audio, that makes sense. But what I find really interesting, or what the research flags as a major growth vector, is how this anti-noise tech is moving beyond just our ears, like applying that same principle to a whole car cabin or an airplane. That scales things up massively, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. That's a huge area for long-term growth. Think about automotive, aviation. Manufacturers are putting ANC ICs into EVs, luxury cars, even commercial planes to tackle engine noise, road noise, cabin sounds. Take electric vehicles, they're quiet, so suddenly you notice road and wind noise more. ANC helps create that premium, quiet feel. It seriously improves comfort, whether it's a long flight or just your daily drive. It's moving from just entertainment to controlling the whole environment.
And none of this happens without the tech itself getting better and, crucially, smaller, tiny tech. Big impact, right? Enabling these chips to fit into more and more places.
Spot on. The advances in analog digital hybrid setups and AI signal processing are really pushing performance. So hybrid means you get the best of both. Analog's super fast for grabbing the noise instantly, no lag. And digital lets you do really precise smart filtering with complex algorithms. Put them together. You get cancellation that's immediate but also adapts intelligently. And critically, these chips are shrinking using less power. That makes them perfect for really small devices. Think hearing aids, those little TWS earbuds everyone has, fitness trackers. It just keeps opening up new possibilities.
It really sounds like ANC ICs are just taking over, changing everything from music listening to commuting. But there's always friction, isn't there? If they're so good, why aren't they literally everywhere yet? The research points to a few key things holding things back. Let's start with, well, the cost.
That's definitely a factor, especially for getting into every device. Developing these high-performance ANC ICs, it's not cheap. You've got the complex algorithms needing multiple good microphones and then really careful calibration for each device model. It all adds up. That cost can make it tough for budget devices or manufacturers working with thin margins to include top-tier ANC.
In thinking about the user experience, what can actually go wrong if it's not done well? What are the sort of things that might put people off?
Yeah, that's crucial because not all ANC is created equal, right?
Mm.
Especially if corners are cut. You might get noticeable lag in the audio processing, which is annoying. Or sometimes people experience this weird ear pressure feeling, a bit like when a plane descends. If the tech actually makes you uncomfortable instead of helping, well, that damages trust in the brand and slows down overall adoption. People might think, oh, ANC, it gives me that weird feeling.
So, if you're a manufacturer trying to build this in, what are the big engineering headaches? Is it mostly power drain or compatibility issues or something else?
It's often both power and compatibility, yeah. These chips need constant power for those algorithms, and that can hit battery life hard in small devices. That's a major user concern. And then getting the software on the chip to work perfectly with the device's hardware and acoustics. That's tricky. If it's not matched right, you can get problems like overheating or the noise cancellation just won't be very effective. So integration needs really careful engineering. It's complex.
Okay, so there are hurdles, but looking ahead, the research also highlights some really exciting trends. AI, for instance. How is artificial intelligence changing the ANC game?
This is where it gets really interesting. We're seeing AI-driven adaptive noise cancellation emerge. So the chip isn't just filtering based on a preset profile. It's using AI and machine learning to analyze your surroundings in real time. It can tell the difference between, say, constant train rumble and sudden office chatter and adjust the filtering on the fly. This makes the experience feel much more natural, avoids that pressure feeling sometimes, and it's actually more power efficient too because it only uses the cancellation level needed. It's getting smarter.
And beyond the usual suspects music, travel, where else is this tech finding new ground? What's the next big frontier?
Definitely seeing a big push into hearables and healthcare. Hearables is that whole category of smart things you wear in or on your ear, not just for music. So think medical-grade hearing aids using ANC to filter out specific problem frequencies. Or earbuds designed purely to help you sleep better by canceling noise and maybe adding calming sounds. Even wearables for mental wellness, using sound to create focused or calm environments. It's moving beyond just entertainment towards auditory health and managing our sensory input. Huge potential in healthcare and wellness markets there.
And lastly, on the tech side, you mentioned hybrid ANC architectures earlier. What makes those so important for pushing performance?
Yeah, hybrids are really key for top-tier performance now. They use both feed-forward microphones listening outside and feedback microphones listening inside the ear cup or earbud. Using both gives you much better cancellation across a wider range of noise frequencies. It can handle different types of noise more effectively at the same time. So the leading chip makers are developing these more complex dual microphone, multi-sensor chipsets. They're really trying to nail that precision needed for modern devices and demanding acoustic situations. The goal is total noise control.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the active noise cancellation IC market. It's really clear how these tiny chips are powering this huge shift in sound from, your personal music experience to the quiet inside new cars. And just a reminder, all these insights came from that excellent research by Cognitive Market Research.
So, thinking about all this, what does it mean for your own sound world in the next few years? Can you imagine your surroundings just always being perfectly tuned for comfort or focus, or maybe just peace and quiet, all happening automatically thanks to these little chips? Really makes you wonder how this tech will keep changing where we listen, how we work, or even how we just, relax day to day.